Welcome to Socially Unfiltered,
That's the sleaziest tactic I have ever heard.
I cannot believe they would say that to you.
an open discussion all about social media, entrepreneurship, pop culture, and everything in between.
We're just some DIY girlies.
It costs $0 to support your friends.
You'll go on deep dives and doom scrolls with your hosts, Lex and V, to uncover the stories behind the headlines and look at everything through an unfiltered lens.
I want to relive the 2000s.
Not the trauma dumping on a Monday.
So grab a drink and get ready for a lot of yapping. Don't worry, there's no quiz at the end.
Strategy is such a buzzword.
English isn't my first language, so that's my excuse.
This is the Socially Unfiltered podcast.
Hi.
Hello.
What's up?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I don't know why that was such a struggle for me.
Are you taking care of yourself this week?
Talking about some self-care for creatives today, and wherever else the conversation takes us.
Yeah, this is very important because I feel like as creatives in this type of industry, we are always pouring into other things and just being very outward with our energy, that when it comes time to like do a little self-care, we kind of like beat around the bush and don't really do it. But it's very important, and I think this year both of us have been doing that more. Well, we've kind of been like forced to slow down, I think, not by our own like choice, but it's just happened, and I feel like it's been nice.
Yeah.
Nice in different aspects. Pros and cons to slowing
I was
down in
just
your business.
thinking about that last night. I'm like, I literally have just been forced to slow down. Like, yes, it feels like everything is just like chaotic and crazy and like nothing will ever be caught up again. But like,
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that I have the time right now to like, I don't know, be cleaning out my garage or like doing all of these other little things that
Yeah.
I just truly did not have time for
I
2
know.
months ago.
Literally the other day I was like giving myself a pedicure and I'm like, wow, I have time to do this. That's nice. Just a mindset. I think that's a
Yeah.
big one for your self-care too, because
Mhm.
we could easily sit here and complain about all these different things like not having enough clients, not making enough money, all these things, but
Which we did for 30 minutes before we started recording. Don't worry.
and then we
I'm
were
just
like,
kidding.
wait, we can't say these
No, and then
things out loud.
we literally ended the conversation by saying, "Wait, we literally shouldn't be saying any of this out loud." So,
No. You are what you speak
yes, speak.
out to the world. You're who you
Mhm.
surround yourself with. So
Mhm.
let's get into how can you take care of yourself as a creative? What type of
Mhm.
boundaries can you establish for yourself and around
Mhm.
people, and prioritize your rest as somebody that is very like creative in their job?
Mhm. Yes.
Boundaries are huge. We always talk about boundaries. We had an entire episode about boundaries, specifically
Mhm.
with like social media clients, I think.
Mhm.
But this can go in any way. Like it can be friendships in your life, relationships, with parents. Like it can be any type of boundary that if something is just not serving you, then create that boundary. And if people
Mhm.
are not okay with you creating that boundary, they are not meant for you.
Mhm. Yeah, unfollow people, mute them in your phone, put their texts
Mhm.
on do not disturb, block people, tell people that you don't want like any of their energy around you anymore. It's hard, and I mean, I'm
Mhm.
definitely not the most like confrontational person, but I also am not scared to not respond to somebody's text for
Yeah.
a long time. Like I will take business days to respond to a text because that's a boundary that I have with my phone. Like, I think
Mhm.
we've talked about this before. Like, I can sit there, and this is like, no, I always feel bad talking about this because I'm like, if somebody listens to this who I like take forever to answer, like, it's not me being like, oh, look at this person texting me and I'm just
Mhm.
not going to respond. Like, it literally is when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I don't ever wanna just, like, half-ass a response, so, like, for me, a boundary is, like, I'm not checking my texts, like, go, 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 I'm literally setting certain times that I'm sitting down and responding to this.
Mhm. Yeah, I've
anyway.
had to do that lately too because, like, I think I said this too in the other episode we did just about boundaries, like, when I would
Mhm.
film myself for, like, a day in the life, I'm, like,
Mhm.
noticing how much I'm on my phone or texting or distracted, and I'm like, "This is so unproductive for
Mhm.
me," and, like, then I'm just working later in the day when literally it could just be, like, shut the phone off, put it on do not disturb. Anything that is really that important, like, someone can call you if it's that important, otherwise, you're
Mhm.
just wasting time during your
Mhm.
day, like, I think that's such a big boundary, and I also don't think that you should be available 24/7 at the disposal
Mhm.
of your phone, like, and if people
Mhm.
can't respect that boundary and they get upset at you or, like, even if you're,
Mhm.
like, on social media, but you're not texting somebody back, it's like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just laying horizontally and I just want to mindlessly
I'm
scroll right
having tummy
now.
time.
And I don't want yeah, I'm having tummy time and I don't wanna talk, and that's okay too, and I
Mhm.
think that there's just this, like, notion with people need to be available 24/7 just because they have a
Mhm.
phone in their hand, and, like, unless it's life or death or, like, it's an
Mhm.
emergency, there's nothing that needs
Mhm.
your attention, like, at the snap of a finger. So if
Mhm.
people are giving you shit for that or are getting upset, just create that boundary. And once you do, it's like they can either choose to respect it or not, and I think
Mhm.
it'll show you the people in your life that respect you and want the best for you.
Mhm.
Like, I know there's so many different types of ways you can communicate with friends. Like, I feel like there's people that I only voice message with. I feel like there's
Yeah.
people that I just do phone calls with. Like, me and Bella, we don't even, like, text ever. We only have, like, once a week, we get on the phone for, like, an hour, and we catch up on everything, and
Mhm.
that is our friendship, and that is how
Yeah.
it's worked, and we don't text. Like, me and you are always doing voice memos, and I feel like that
Mhm.
works because we can be doing other stuff. I mean, we text too,
Mhm.
but it's like there's just find what people are their best way of communicating and, like, your
Mhm.
best way of communicating and form that
Mhm.
boundary with people. If you like, they're just
Yeah.
blowing you up all day, don't answer. And don't apologize because I have done that so many times. And even you apologize to me all the time, and I'm like, "Don't apologize." You're like, "Sorry, I wasn't around for the 15 minutes that you texted me." I'm like,
It'll be like
"Why?"
7 minutes. I'm like, "Oh my god, sorry, I was driving."
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, sorry, just making a coffee." I'm like, "Don't apologize,
I
like,
just
don't
wanted
be
to know I'm not
sorry for."
ignoring you.
No, I don't ever think you're ignoring me. I don't ever think anyone's ignoring me unless it's like, I have an emergency and people aren't
And,
answering
like, you're
me,
not
right? Right.
answering. No, that's
But
so
there's
I
always a
love
reason.
yeah. I love that you brought up, like, when you see people active on social media, but they're not texting you back because I feel like this really emphasizes my point of, like,
Mhm.
I don't wanna text people back and give them a half-assed response. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm active on social media, it's usually because I had, like, 5.5 minutes in between client calls, and I'm just, like, aimlessly scrolling and, like, saw something funny and shared it to my story.
Yeah.
That's me spending, like, 5 mindless minutes. I would rather spend my mindless minutes scrolling on social media than being like, "Oh, I have to answer this text," and just send back, like, a "Ha, ha, 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 ha." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? When I could take, "Okay, let me finish my workday, and then I'll sit down and be, like,
Mhm.
ready to have this conversation with this person." Like, it just if you see somebody, especially me, like, active on social media, it's because I'm disassociating,
Literally our job
not
also.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, we are on social media, but most of the time we're on, like, client accounts, and obviously it
Mhm.
shows that you're active, and it's like,
Yes.
we don't deserve to be called out for that. Like, we are
No.
doing our
No.
job,
Mhm.
and some of the time, maybe we're not, but it's like, I don't know, I think it's weird
Mhm.
when people are like, "Why are you not responding to me if you're on social media?" And it's like, I don't
Mhm.
owe you a response right now,
No.
and if people are gonna get upset over that, over some little thing, like, it's I don't know, I think it's a little silly, and I think it's
Mhm.
crazy the expectations people have now just because we do have
Mhm.
our phones at our disposal.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, I, like, miss wall phone days where you had to, like,
Literally, or, like, when you
take a
get
deep breath
home,
and call and ask for somebody. Like, "Is Veronica home?"
"Hi, is she home?" And you run to the phone because you know
Yes.
you're getting home and to talk
Yeah.
to them, and then you're just,
"Oh,
like,
yeah, be by your
pacing
phone at
around your house,
3:45."
laying upside down, like,
Yeah.
pacing. Yeah, that
Yep.
used to be so
Also
fun.
for do not disturb, because I really am such a strong advocate for do not disturb, and I think I've talked about this before. I was introduced to do not disturb when I worked in group fitness, and I used to have it on my phone to play music for the class, so like text or calls wouldn't come
Mhm.
through the speakers, and then I just never shut it off. Like I literally turned it on for the first time and it just has never turned off since. But you can have this setting on where if somebody calls you twice in a row, it will push through your do not disturb. And
Yeah.
like the most important people in my life know that. Like they know, like, call. And if I'm on do not disturb, which 99% of the time I'm going to be, call again and it'll push through.
Mhm.
I also have like the select few people like on my
Yeah.
list that it like lets push through, but just I also think of, like, the emergency situation where it's like, "Oh my
Mhm.
god, I've been locked in my office all day and haven't looked at my phone in 8 hours and have 45 missed calls," and you think the worst, but, like, I always just know, like, okay, I know
Mhm.
I can be contacted, like, if needed, but I'm not getting just, random dings from my phone all day because
Right.
it would be enough to, like, completely overstimulate me, and
Mhm.
yeah, and that's just what works for me. And it really is, like, I'm such an advocate for do not disturb because I really miss the days where we could leave our house and, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful for the technology, the maps, the
Yeah.
tracking, find my friends, safety reasons of it all, but
Yeah,
I miss just, like, not having access to people 24/7. Like, it's
I
crazy
know.
to me to think that, like, your parents would, like, go to work and, like, not speak to each other until they got home that night. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You can be
Or,
like,
like,
"Hey, do you need something at the grocery store?" Like, it's just so it's a
you don't
weird
know what
world.
they're doing on the weekend. Like, I think it's kinda crazy that we have this, like, look into everybody's life
Mhm,
and what they're doing on the weekends or,
mhm,
like, during the week, and I don't know, I just
mhm,
think it's really wild to think about. I feel like it has to be, like, a whole
mhm.
episode of,
You
like
know what's so weird is, like, hearing you say that, like, my mind immediately goes, I think it was 4th or 5th grade. One of our teachers, I don't remember why or what the exact context was, but we had these journals, and I remember, like, it was every Monday morning, like, that we came back from a weekend, we had to, like, write in
Oh my
these
god, wait,
journals
we did that too! In the
and, like,
black
talk about what you
journal.
did that weekend. Yeah,
Yes.
and, like, all I can think of is, like,
Oh my
how
god.
exciting it was to, like, hear what other people did that weekend, but you didn't know all like,
Mhm.
you, like, had to wait until it was like show and tell almost, where you're like, "Okay, so
Yeah.
I went to this person's birthday party and, like, I did this," like,
Mhm.
you didn't know because it wasn't posted on
Yeah.
social media.
And I
So
think
it's
a
just
lot of
it
the
was funny
time
to hear
we
you
were
say that.
doing things out of, like, actually wanting to do things and not just, like, for the purpose of posting it. It's
Posting,
like,
yes.
who are you posting it for?
Mhm,
I don't know, it's like I go so back and forth with it.
mhm,
It's weird, but I just don't think it's normal. I don't think it's normal to know what everyone is doing all the time and,
mm-mm,
like, set a
mm-mm,
boundary. Set a boundary. I'm
mhm.
restarting 75 Soft again, and I am shutting off my apps after 8 p.m., which I feel like
Okay,
it's still
good.
kinda late even because I'm on it all day until
Mhm.
8 p.m., but I'm, like, having a hard cutoff. I set a thing on my phone, and usually I would just click, like, the 1
Mhm,
more hour
ignore.
or what ignore, and I'm like, "I really need to do this because
Yeah.
you get better sleep." I
Mhm,
just feel better not
mhm,
scrolling. Last thing I see on my phone is just,
mhm,
like, putting it away
mhm.
and
I
just
do it, like, unintentionally just out of overstimulation. By,
yeah,
like, 7 PM, like, I just can't look at my phone anymore.
I know.
Done with this phone for today,
Yeah,
and it goes somewhere else.
and I watch my bigger screen instead.
And, yeah, no, it's not like I'm, like, completely detoxing from the world. We know you don't need another hoodie, but we also know that you want another hoodie. Make it one from our Bonfire store where you can find all of our official socially unfiltered merch, like our It's Not That Serious crew neck, our totally unfiltered tote bag, or our new dad hats. They're all linked in the description and we can't wait to match with you.
So that's another thing, like, have other hobbies
Mhm.
is next on our list, like, just having other things aside from
Mhm.
I don't know, it can be creative too, like, I think in a lot of ways we do things as hobbies that are also creative, but they're not, like, necessarily our main job. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, I even think creativity can be like just doing your makeup or like
Mhm.
putting an outfit together,
Mhm.
styling. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
It can be anything, any hobby that is
Mhm.
outside of work,
Mhm.
especially for creatives, I think is really helpful in self-care because we just I identified with, like, being a social media manager and content creator like, for so long, I feel that it was, like, my personality trait, and, like,
Mhm.
there's so many other things I enjoy and like to do and finally feel like I'm not just associating with just being socials by me, like, so
Mhm.
I just think that's a big one is just finding things that fill your cup that are not just work.
Mhm. Yeah. I know this kind of goes with like what's on the last of this list, but it's so important for somebody who works in a creative field to continue doing things that are creative outside of your creative field.
Yeah.
Or exactly like you said, makeup. Like there are ways to have hobbies that are creative but aren't necessarily like exactly like you said your full-time job.
Yeah.
Also just like regular hobbies too. Like, maybe you go for a walk every day, you're a runner, you ride bikes, like self-care slash like health and wellness hobbies. I literally just found, and I thought I threw this away forever ago. I'm a serial hobbyist. So like when I see something on TikTok, like I the next day have every single thing that I need to participate in
Yeah.
that hobby. Like clay. I got really into clay for a minute. I was like, I'm gonna make clay earrings. Like, this is so fun. And I made a ton of clay earrings and then all the clay dried up and I never did it again. Anyway, a few years ago, I got really into cross stitching, but making like funny ones. So like it would be this cute little like grandma like cross stitch quilted thing, but it said like don't do coke in the bathroom. And it was like framed in my bathroom.
Wait, can you make me one?
Yes. And I made one for my friends that were like Cardi B lyrics. Like one of them said, oh, crrr.
That's so cute. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, it was well, I kind of forgot about
I
it
knew you
because
tie-dyed, but I didn't know you
yeah.
crocheted.
Oh, no, 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 cross stitch,
Oh,
different
cross
than
stitch,
crochet. Crochet is way harder. Cross stitch is like you literally just pull the thread in and out of little holes in the fabric.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that too, and the other day, I finally had time to be organizing and cleaning out my garage, and I found, like, a whole tote of it. I was like, "I didn't know that I still had any of this stuff," and I'm fucking pumped. Like, I have been looking up on Pinterest, like, different cross stitch patterns. Like, I just love creative hobbies that aren't
Yeah.
my job, not in a bad way, but, like, I love being creative on social media. I love being creative on Canva, but there's such a different feeling of like being creative with your hands. And I
Yeah.
feel like when a lot of people hear like creative hobbies, like there's no talent in cross stitching. You know what I mean? Like don't think I'm like an amazing like painter or like draw or like I don't have a talent really like that. But there are ways to like be creative that don't require you to be like exceptionally good at stuff. I don't know if that
Mhm.
makes, like, any sense, but, like, literally with cross stitching, it's just something that, like,
Yeah, like
is
physically
creative.
doing something that's not,
Yeah,
like, on social media.
mhm,
Great.
it's like taking your hands and, like,
Mhm.
placing it somewhere for a while, and at the end, you get a product that you made. It
Yeah.
just has reminded me a lot of, like, arts and crafts, like, as a kid,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I just miss, like, doing things with my hands because it was during COVID that I got, like, super into all of this, the earrings, and then I got super into making, like, these wall hangings, like, out of yarn and sticks. Like, it's this whole not, like, actual sticks, like, hanging rods, but, like, I
Like, in
had
her
my
backyard finding sticks.
no, 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 no,
How
the,
bored
like,
she was
craft
during
rods.
COVID.
I just didn't know what else to call them. They were
The
sticks
dogs
from
were like,
the craft
"Why are you
store.
bringing sticks inside, mom?"
No, Nugs is like, "I'll help. I'll go find some." I'm a big fan, even though I have not been and I literally can't tell you the last time I did something like this, like, creatively, not for work
Yeah.
in, like, literally years, because I just have been so busy with work and, like, doing other things and have been in a season where it's hard for me to do things that aren't, like,
Yeah.
benefiting my business or, like, my personal life, and
Mhm.
sometimes I look at cross stitching as not the most, like, beneficial thing you could be doing, but at the end of the day, like, it kind of
It is
is. Like,
though.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, like, it's a hobby, it's creativity in a form that's not my job, like,
Yeah.
it's a good outlet,
Yeah.
basically. So
I
if you
know.
wanna feel like you're 100 years old like me, we can cross stitch. Oh my god, I just started cross stitch club.
Girl turns 31 and starts the cross stitch club.
No, literally. And I'm in this weird mood where I want everything in my house to be an antique. Like, I
Hmm.
literally want to, like, just have, like, antique frames and, like, antique desks. Like, I'm in such a weird place. I actually think I aged 55 years, like, on October 17th.
Something happened. Something changed.
Something drastic has changed around here.
Yeah, I get the part of being like, I could be being productive, I could be making money, but it's like it is productive in
Mhm,
your mental health and like your
mhm,
happiness and just doing things that you actually enjoy outside of just work. And I feel like that
mhm,
with like, I mean, I know it's my work now. Like I became a spray tan artist part time,
mhm,
but I'm like, this is so fun to just do something with like my hands and like make people feel good and beautiful. And I'm like,
mhm,
I am getting paid for that, but I also feel like it is a hobby in a way because I'm like, I
mhm.
really enjoy this and I love it and I don't feel like it's work. And it's like really
Right.
satisfying and fun. And I don't know, it's just something different that's not being create. I guess it's not really creative, but it's like
But it kind of
artistic
it's doing
in a way.
something with your hands. Like, I think
Yeah.
there's just something in, like, you start a project
Physically
and
doing
you have
something.
finished the project, yeah, like, with your hands. Because I also do think it's creativity, and I also think it's, like, precision and, like, hand-eye coordination. Like, there
Yeah.
are, like, skills in what you're doing.
Yeah.
It might not be like you're on there, like, painting a mural, but, like, you like those airbrush T-shirts?
I know. Well, I wanna learn how to, like, do the contour, like, the airbrush contour,
Mm,
where they
mhm.
have the tiny, tiny little freaking spray tan gun, and they're contouring, like, abs onto people.
Yes.
I always think that's, like, really artistic and creative.
That is
But
really
yeah, there's
funny.
definitely like, you can color. I used to love doing that
Oh
as a
my
host
god, I
like,
used
when
to
I was
be
a hostess.
obsessed.
I
Yeah.
would just pass the time with a coloring book like a child, but that's really therapeutic, I think. I mean, even a workout class is like a hobby that is
Mhm.
just something
Yeah,
that takes
no,
you away
hobbies
from.
can yeah, be like, athletic based, they can
Yeah.
be, like, creativity based, they can
Mhm.
be reading based, like,
Baking,
reading can oh, yeah.
baking, like, you
Mhm.
can do anything. You can make bread, you can make cupcakes, you can cook. Like, I think those are
Mhm.
all forms of, like, hobbies and self-care and whatever makes you happy that's outside of work, and I think it's important to prioritize those too. Even when you get really busy, put yourself first too, and it's
Mhm.
gonna come back 10 times over because you're taking care of you before other people. So,
Mhm.
those are
Yeah,
a few.
and that's yeah, definitely been I'm just such, like, a I look at the activity that I'm doing and I'm like, "Okay, but what should I be doing right now?" Like, I'm
Yeah,
so bad about that. Like, I'm so
yeah,
bad, like, if there's 2 dishes in the sink, like, "Oh my god, I shouldn't be sitting here." Like, I could be doing the dishes right now, and it's legit
mhm,
30 seconds of dishes that need to be
yeah,
done. Like, I'm just so bad about it.
yeah. I feel like just finding little projects
Mhm.
is good too. Like, the last 2 weekends, we now have free. So, this past weekend, we built a coffee table, built a side table. Mark
Mhm.
just repainted, like, our entire, window thing that Benny ate. He had to, like, fill it all
Oh
in
my
when he
god,
was a puppy. He ate the wall
I'm
behind the
sad that the
freaking
hole is filled
couch
in.
on the window. So, he just filled all of that in and painted it, and now he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna paint the stairs next to the basement." I'm like, "Okay." Just, like, little projects like that, I think, are
Mhm.
important for everybody to just
Mhm.
focus your energy somewhere else. Like, yeah, we could be sitting and watching TV, and that's totally fine too, but, like,
Mhm.
it's nice some nights to just have to, like, yourself and put on music and do whatever and just have your little hobby that you enjoy
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah. I love that you said that too, because I'm also, like, a big fan, like, with a lot of the downtime that I've had recently. Also, I'm not, like, not looking at you on purpose. I'm trying to find pictures of my cross stitches to show you. But I like, if my house or my space like, I know I just said, like, I can't do something, like, if you make myself feel bad if there's dishes in the sink, but, like, I am somebody who, like, I feel better and just, like, feel lighter and, like, feel
Mhm.
like less chaotic when I know, like, there isn't, like, a closet in my house that's, like, shoved full of a bunch of
Yes,
random stuff. You know
same.
what I mean? Like, I just and that's what I've been spending a lot of this
Mhm.
downtime doing is just, like, any project, even as small as, like, organizing under the bathroom sink, like, I just have been going crazy with
Yeah,
just doing things.
I love doing that, like, just having, like, a day where you literally just redo everything, restock, like, I just did that with the spices. I definitely need to
Mhm,
reorganize under my sink. And that coffee table was driving me nuts that it was, like, unbuilt sitting there because we had
mhm,
to wait for the people downstairs to move out to put our old coffee
mm,
table downstairs.
yeah.
And then, like, we were painting the well, I wasn't. Mark was painting the thing, and, like, we have to wait for the couch to move back. So,
Right.
like, just things like that, I enjoy getting it done and, like, having
Mhm,
time to do that
mhm,
because then you feel like your space is, like when your space is
mhm.
clean and
Yeah.
organized, you just feel so much better. I mean, at
Not
least
even
I do.
about what it looks like,
No.
not about, like, what it looks like at all. Literally just about the fact of everything, like, being
Oh my god,
together.
that's so fun.
Isn't it so cute?
I love that. Oh my god.
I'm so glad that I found this stuff because it's literally just, like, rings and, like, the fabric and the thread and needles, and that's all you need, and then I literally just look up patterns online.
I'm so grateful that my grandma taught me how to sew and
Mhm.
to iron because,
Mhm.
like, those are just things I feel like also could be hobbies, like, you could be sewing, but
Mhm.
I just feel like so many people don't know how to do those things. Random thought.
Mhm. Well, they're definitely, like, lost skills, I think, because just
Mhm.
we don't need people to know how to do that. I'm also very thankful that I was taught how to do all of that, and I didn't appreciate it really until I was an adult. Like, when I was younger, I'm like, "Oh, like, I don't give a shit about learning to sew, like, I don't wanna do
Mhm.
any of this." And now at 5 feet tall, it's very convenient to know how to sew because I can
Yes.
hem almost any of my own stuff. So,
Yeah, literally, all your pants are hemmed.
yeah, from myself in my kitchen table.
This goes back to all our DIY shit too. Like,
No, literally.
you just figure out how to do things.
You do. See? Hobbies.
Yeah.
My hobbies are
Hobby
hemming.
skills, always great. Perfecting your
Mhm.
skills. My next hobby or skill I wanna do is, um, either do Duolingo or find somebody to teach me
Mm.
more Russian. I was talking about this with Janya when, um,
Mhm.
we met up with her because I feel like I'm losing a lot of it, and I don't want to. I wanna, like, stay close to my family and
Mhm.
continue to, like, learn because I moved here when I was 7, so it's like I only have
Mhm.
so much vocabulary, I feel. So I really wanna,
Mhm.
like, do that as a hobby maybe once a week, like, just perfect my Russian speaking a little bit better.
That'd be super fun.
Yeah, so that's
Ethan
another
did
thing I could do.
Duolingo. Yeah, do Ethan loved to Duolingo. I've never done it, but he did it literally every morning for, like, a year with Spanish, and now he,
God.
like, knows a ton of Spanish, so it definitely works, and
Yeah, I've heard great things about it, and I love their social media,
I
obviously.
was just gonna say the
So
bird, like, sells it.
the bird's gonna be popping up every day.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, I'm excited to do that. I think that's a new hobby that I will have time to do, and
Mhm.
it'll be beneficial. Because it's also like
Yeah.
you're learning something and it'll help you in the future, like, especially Spanish. I think so many people are speak Spanish and, like, when you
Mhm.
go on vacation, it's just, like, nice to be able to understand and, like, speak the native language with
Mhm.
people. So, you
Mhm.
could do that, learn a language.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, that comes out with, like, a skill as well, so that's really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Something that's also incredibly important is to prioritize your rest or your routines, anything that's you're kind of designating some time for yourself to not only rest and recover, but to set yourself up for success in the future. There goes a puppy.
Oh, that's a
Look at him itch.
Wabsy.
The Jobsy Wobsy.
I miss him.
Obviously, say hi.
Aw, my buddy.
Nope, I'm going out here.
Bye.
I feel like
Yes, rest.
yeah.
Important.
Yeah. And like even like we just talked about, like prioritizing, like cleaning up your space, like giving yourself a decluttered area to live in. Like those to me, yes, they're productive. And yeah, it's not you like physically resting, but like, I don't know, rest and nest, baby. Like get your space
Mhm.
ready and then take a nap. Like I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, all of these girlies like recording their Sunday resets and blah blah blah, like they're all just doing that for TikTok, right? Like none of us are actually out here doing that. And the comments were so funny. They were like, "Girl, I hate to break it to you. Like if I don't do my Sunday reset, my whole week is thrown off." And like
Mhm.
that's me. Like
Yeah.
I am such a diehard for a Sunday reset that like we hardly do things on Sundays because I'm just
Mhm.
in such a Sunday is a reset day.
Yeah. Sometimes I love to do it on a Friday too, so then by the
I
time Sunday rolls
Mhm,
around, we did a ton of shit
mhm,
on Saturday, so, like,
mhm,
yes, or Sunday didn't have to do anything, which was so nice because then you can just
mhm,
do whatever, but I also
mhm.
had a baby shower, so I think it just depends on, like, what's
Yeah, I
going
mean,
on
there's
that weekend,
things
but
that happen, but
mhm. But yeah, your rest is also productive at the end of the day.
Mhm,
Like if you're just going, 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 and like every time you rest, you're like, I could be doing something else, then you're just gonna burn out and you're not gonna
mhm,
be productive at all because you're gonna have like a week of a lull where you're like so burnt out from just
mhm,
going constantly. So I think it's very important to rest, to take care of your body, to take care of your mind, get a
mhm.
nap in, get some good sleep.
Yep.
I literally have like a competition with myself for sleep because of my aura ring. Like I always am trying to like get better sleep. I'm like, what can I do tonight to like make sure I've been seeing like magnesium spray on the pillow, which I want to try, or like
Mhm,
on you. I want to try that. But there's also external things that I feel like you have to
mhm.
consider when you're trying to rest too, is like Benny sleeps in the bed sometimes. You sleep
Yeah.
with a significant other and it's like hot or like the temperature in your room.
Mhm,
Like that all impacts how much you can rest. But
mhm. Yeah, and rest looks like a lot of things, like, it can be,
Mhm.
like, physically taking a nap, it can be, like, just laying down and decompressing, like, we joke about it, but, like, tummy time, like,
Yeah,
I
or
literally
normal
live
time.
yeah, for 20 minutes of tummy time. There's self-care in rest, like, all of these things are just contributing to filling you back up and, like, making it I don't wanna say easier for you to do your job again if you're in the creative field, but it definitely there are times that you feel more inspired than others, and I've definitely
Mhm.
always felt more inspired after I do something creative and get a good night's sleep and eat good food and
Yeah,
then try to sit down and work as opposed to I stayed up until midnight and woke up at 6 AM and scrolled for an hour and a half, and then I didn't, like, change out of my pajamas and just brought my laptop in bed, like, don't get me wrong, all of those things are okay. But if it's all the time, it's a
yeah,
lot, and again, just I've never felt worse after
yeah,
those
you're never
things.
gonna regret, like, taking care of yourself or
Mhm,
getting like, this morning, I so badly did not want to go to my workout class, and I was like, "Ugh, I could just cancel, like, I only got, like, 6 hours of sleep, like, I'm
mhm,
tired." There's so many excuses, but I'm like, "I'm gonna feel so good if I go." Like, I just need to get there, I just need to get there. And that's, like,
mhm,
always my goal. I'm just like, "Just get up. That's all you need to do. Just get up." And
mhm,
it's hard, it's really hard, but then now I'm like, I already had a full day by the time it was, like, 10 AM
mhm,
because I went to a 7 o'clock class, and
mhm,
it was great. And you never regret, like, going. Like, I'm not like, "I wish I didn't go."
mhm.
So, just
No, nothing that I've ever like, very I can't name a time that I've participated in something in self-care and have been like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that."
yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just never been
No.
a bad idea, and yeah. Lots of options to
Yep.
find what works for you, but yeah, it's definitely something that I recommend or we recommend to pour into because especially as a creative, it's literally the source of your entire job.
I saw somebody that posted with, like, their long distance friends or, like, friends that they don't really see in person a lot, like, schedule a time, like, either every week or every other week where, like, you do, like, a little mini catch up where you
Mhm.
text back and forth, or like you do like a voice recording for them that's
Mhm.
like what I've been up to, what's
Mhm.
next, and like how I've been feeling, and like something about them, and like 4 things that you hit every week
That's
or every
really
other
fun.
week, which I think is cute because it's like we can just get so lost in our own lives, and
Mhm.
everyone has things going on that it's hard to like check in with everybody or like remember what everyone is doing and what they have going on, and we're not
Mhm.
the only people, that we're obviously worried about ourselves and what's going on in our life, but I think that's a cute little idea for checking in with your people. That could be self-care too, like community,
Mhm.
scheduling a dinner with like another creative or something. I just
Mhm.
I just went to
Coffee with
a
a friend, literally
yeah,
anything.
I went to a workout class and dinner with another social media manager here. She's like new to social media management and is a content creator, and it was so nice to like have somebody in person to like meet up with and chat and like
Mhm.
talk about our careers and like vent. Like I think that's a form of self-care too, is like finding
Literally.
people in your community. It could be online too. I mean, like that's how we met.
Mhm.
That's how we met Gabby. Like
Mhm.
it can be online, but in person too if you have like a bigger community. Here I feel like it's not a big community of like social media managers or content creators, so it's a little bit
Mhm.
harder for me, I think, to get out there more and meet
Yeah.
people. But if you're in like a bigger area, like I think it's what's the harm in being like, let's grab a coffee and just chat. And you could do it once a month with this person and just like, I don't know, vibe. I don't know. Community is important, and just like keeping people around you as community versus competition is also
Mhm.
important. Like helping each other out and working together is always fun.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
my
especially other creatives because they understand
yeah.
you and what you might be venting about. And exactly like you said, it doesn't even have to be venting like in a bad way. The thing that's coming to my head is like the day that we did the shoot here with another social media manager in Charleston, like we just chatted for like the first 30 minutes because
Mhm.
there are just certain things that like only each other understand and like
Yeah.
especially in this field. And even if you're not, it's still really important to have those people just to be able to
Yeah.
chat, hear you out, listen to you.
Mhm.
Because again, it's not always venting like in a bad way. It can be just like I have things that I need to say out loud and
Yeah.
thanks for listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to be surrounded by people in this industry because it can be very, very lonely as creatives sometimes. We're
Mhm.
very, very creative and like outward online or like with our energy, but then we could just be in our room all day alone. And I feel like it's
Mhm.
very important to just like get out there and talk to people and have conversations and like make connections. You don't have to be like a social butterfly all the time, but I think it is important to like step out of that comfort zone, leave your house, even if it's just a coffee run or like just something, a walk, anything to get out of like your space is important too, because I think it can be very isolating and lonely if you like let it.
Mhm.
So that's also a like hard part I think about being a creative but working like alone.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it's a weird industry, but I mean, pros and cons. Get to use all of our creativity. The cons are we're literally using our creativity alone
Mhm.
99% of the time.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by the Social Media Manager Business Blueprint. Just fucking kidding. But if you want to build a profitable and attainable social media management business without breaking the bank, we've got you. Download our 25-day business blueprint linked in the show notes below and get ready to become the social media manager and business owner that you've always dreamed of. Okay, back to the episode. That was pretty much it on the self-care. I mean, there's a lot of
Mhm.
other self-care things you could be doing too. Like you can read a book, you can meditate, you can go on a walk, work out, eat healthy. Like those are anything that makes you feel good and like fills your cup, I think is self-care. You can have a glass of wine after work and maybe that's your self-care. Go to
Mhm.
therapy. That's self-care.
Mhm.
Just prioritize yourself is what we can take from all of this, I think. As a
Yes.
creative, it's important because That's how we keep showing up and being creative.
Prioritize yourself. Prioritize your self-care. Prioritizing my self-care today with a hair appointment.
Slay.
Just
I just
kidding.
prioritized myself with Botox and a spray tan yesterday.
Good. You deserve that.
Yes.
You're glowing. You
Thanks.
deserve that.
Yeah. You could just pick a thing. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, what's one thing this month that will make me feel really, really good? And it could be like something that doesn't even cost money, but just a day dedicated to just something you love to do and only for you and no one else.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have like a phone-free weekend. I think I need to do that.
I would do that if we could be together in person.
I know, that's true, because, like, who the hell else are we talking to?
Yeah, no, other than talking to you, I do that all day, every day.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Next time we're together, I think that'd be fun.
We should do a
Just, like
challenge.
yeah.
24 hours.
Yes.
We could do that.
We can definitely do that.
Easily.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure we don't need to go anywhere in those 24 hours.
Yeah.
We
That
don't
we
need to, like,
need,
order food. Yeah.
directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there may need to be some rules, like, you can use maps and you can use, DoorDash.
No, we have to use MapQuest, like, on the computer.
A physical map,
And
like,
we have
fucking
to
really bring out our Outer Banks.
literally. And we have to call the restaurant to order delivery.
Well, we'll see y'all next week. Let us know if we missed anything. Let us know what you do for self-care. Like, what's your one non-negotiable for taking care of yourself as a creative? And we'll see you next week.
Talk to you next week. How classic we're ending right at 11:11.
I know. Of course. All right. Love y'all. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
In case you haven't heard from us enough today, come hang on Instagram at sociallyunfilteredpod.
Join our group chat to stay updated in between episodes by texting group to 833-459-3349.
Download the Social Media Manager Business Blueprint to start building your business today.
And last but not least, grab your official Socially Unfiltered merch from our Bonfire store.
You can find everything linked in the episode description below or at sociallyunfilteredpod.com.
We'll meet you back here next week, same day, same time. Bye.
Bye.